And then as soon as I tripped over first base, I looked at Joe and I was like, oh, my bad, Joe, I got to be on second. And he just started screaming, saying it's over. And I was like, whoa, no way. And then, yeah, I kind of blacked out there.
Welcome to episode 311 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. It's a big day with a new show and brand new stories on both of our websites as the 2024 ADS and SDS all-college teams are official. We'll get to those rosters as well as conversations with three of the players named in just a moment. But first, the news headlines. The Western Canadian Baseball League's annual general meeting goes this weekend in Saskatoon. The league's governors have a variety of topics up for discussion as they look back on what was a record-setting season in the stands and an outstanding campaign on the field. Our Ian Wilson is there and will bring us any major storylines that come out of the AGM on next week's show. The naming contest for the Edmonton Prospects is now closed. The club launched it about a month ago as they get ready to move into MyShack Metro Ballpark in Spruce Grove for the 2025 season. It sounds like they'll be creating a short list, then potentially having a fan vote to determine the winner. I'll be curious to see if my recommendation for the Parkland Spruce Moose gets any traction. Congratulations to Trey Mackwood, who has been named the Canadian Baseball Network Okotoks Dogs Scholarship winner. The Dogs Academy alum committed to Panola College a while back. Bob Elliott wrote a great story on Mackwood's journey, which you can now read on our website. On the commitment front this week, Weber Academy product George Hobbins has committed to Butler College. AHP Academy hurler Lucas Verhoeven is heading to Pratt Community College. Badlands Academy catcher Gregory Preston McCormick packs up for Minot State. And St. Joseph Academy infielder and Red Deer Brave star Jake Brooks, who was guest back on episode 296, he's going to Colby Community College. Meantime, the commitment announcements continue to roll in for Prairie Baseball Academy, the University of Calgary Dinos, and the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks. The CCBC season should be getting going at the end of March. Stay tuned for schedule updates in the weeks ahead. Speaking of the college season, let's head stateside now for the 5th annual ADS All-College Team and the 1st annual SDS All-College Team. We scoured hundreds of box scores and stats pages over the last few weeks to find the top performers, many of whom we've profiled in the past or had here on the show. We'll start in Alberta, where the roster is made up of catcher Jacob Wroblewski, first baseman Tom Poole, Caleb Haney is at second base, Connor Crowson mans third, shortstop is Jaden Babiak, the outfielders are Ben Hoshizaki, Tucker Zadunik, and Max Hartman, the DH is Logan Grant, Reese Hemmerling, Graham Brunner, and Cohen Aiken make up the pitching staff, and a taxi squad is made up of Cleary Simpson, Gavin Fraser, and Riley Pierce. Our first guest this week is Connor Crowson, who had himself a year to remember both in college and in the WCBL. He hit .338 with 8 home runs, 41 RBI, and 7 stolen bases in 52 games for the University of Montevallo Falcons in the spring. Then he was an all-star for the Okotoks Dogs, putting an exclamation point on the season by hitting that championship-winning walk-off home run in Game 3 against Moose Jaw. We caught up with Crowson earlier this week to talk all about it. Connor, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's rewind the tape to the spring. The stats kind of speak for themselves. .338, 8 home runs, 41 RBI. But how did you feel about the season looking back on it?
I felt pretty good. Started off a little slow, and then through the middle of the year, I felt really good. Felt like I couldn't really get out for a little bit there, and then I hit an old 0 for 22 slump, which is always good to end the year. But other than that, I felt pretty good, and I'm excited for this year.
What was that transition like for you, coming from Bossier Parish and then getting the opportunity to take your game to the next level?
I would say the biggest transition, honestly, I don't feel like just a whole lot because the practicing was the same in the fall, but I would say the spring was just more guys had command of their off-speed pitches. In JUCO, I feel like all the pitchers are trying to just blow up by you because they want to go to the next level, but I felt like handling off-speed pitches was a little more challenging at the next level.
Looking at your own game, did you learn anything about yourself that allowed you to take that next step?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just the pitches that I'm swinging at, the approach, and I'm trying to drive the ball a little bit more. And I worked in on that in the summer, and I felt like I succeeded a little bit in just trying to keep going and work on the approach and drive the ball a little bit more.
I think you did pretty well for yourself, especially on the driving front. We'll get to that in a second. You do come back home to Okotoks, and we'll get to the final in a bit, but take us back to the beginning. Did you head into the summer with any expectations of yourself or maybe as a team?
Oh, yeah, obviously, like, that whole group over there is always, I think we're a bunch of winners, and we're trying to win a championship every single year, and that, like, if we fall short, that's also a disappointment, but I think for myself, I really wanted to be the guy in the lineup and drive the ball over the yard, and that's just always something that I've always visioned for myself, and just being able to do that was very special, and just trying to do that every single year now.
Mm-hmm. One of the additional add-ons to the season was near the end of the year there against Brooks, you get to pitch in a game. I know it's in a blowout. I know that the circumstances, given what they were, but take us through that opportunity and how that all came to be in the first place.
So first, I've always asked, like, I've known Lou my whole life, Lou and Joe, and I was like, come on, guys, like, one game I got to pitch. We're going to beat someone so bad that I can get in there and we'll save some arms. And then in the All-Star game, one of the Sylvan Lake pitchers was reaching his pitch count, and Joe came up to me. He's like, you want to throw? And I was like, oh, yeah, 100%. And he was close to his pitch count. I go down there to warm up, and I think they had runners on first and second, and the only way I didn't get into the game if there was like a double play or something silly happened, and that happened exactly. And I just remember being a little rattled, but I know I got my moments, so I was pretty excited.
You even got a K in that outing. Was that something that kind of came out of nowhere for you, or did you know that you had a little bit of something that you could provide on the mound?
No, I think I was just farting around, so the other guys were just trying to have fun too. I don't think I was topping like maybe 74, so I think my pitching days are over.
You think your pitching days are over? Although I have to say, between yourself and Ricky pitching, and then we saw Graham Brunner take an at-bat, what was the funniest moment through that? Again, I know that it's a blowout, and I know it's a situation, but at the same time, there's got to be a little bit of fun being had around the dugout.
Yeah, I think me and Ricky, we weren't playing that game, and we were like, hey, we need to get a lead, and me and you can pitch today, because we were short on pitching, and I think we had a big game the next day, and we were whispering in Joe's ear the whole game in the dugout, and then me and Ricky got to go down to the bullpen, and it was just like felt like little kids again, just playing catch, and then going into the game was pretty cool.
It is a kid's game after all. And then obviously that sets the stage for what was a crazy playoff run. And let's start in that Lethbridge series. Was there ever a feeling, especially in that marathon game 3, where you had that gut feeling like, okay, maybe this isn't our year? Or was there an air of confidence regardless of how long that game was going to go?
No, I was nervous. I didn't want to play Lethbridge. They had our number the whole year. But we had our guys do what they needed to do. Lorera was huge for us, just shutting the door, and Ricky laying down that bunt. I think we played a really clean game, and that's all you can ask for, and our guys did what they had to do.
What's the vibe like in the dugout when you're going through that marathon game 3? Because I have to tell you, as someone watching from the sidelines, I felt the nervousness, but at the same time, I know the teams can sometimes bottle that up and use that to their advantage. So what was it like being in the dugout?
I'm not really much of a huge emotion guy, so I kind of just sit on the bench and just look out and watch what's happening. But I know Bruner was really nervous. He didn't watch an inning after I think it was the 10th inning. He was in the locker room, just like couldn't, because it was his last game if we lost there, and he couldn't even like fathom that. So he was just sitting, like walking around, pacing around. But I think we were pretty calm, cool, and collected. Like, we've all been there before. I think that's why we got such good success, is because we got older guys that know how to handle that. So I think it was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Then you get Sylvan. It's probably a matchup that everybody wanted in the grand scheme of things. How real is that rivalry?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely real. I think they want to beat us really bad, but I think they're all cool guys. We hung out with a few of them at the All-Star game, and like, I never want to lose to them, and we have a little rivalry there. But then as soon as you get to hang out with them, like, they're not that bad. They're a bunch of cool guys. It was fun hanging out with Roy, Siselsky, all those guys, and obviously there's a rivalry, and that's baseball. But like, at the end of the day, they're all cool guys, and they're a great team.
That's fantastic stuff. And then it's Moose Jaw in the final. It's back and forth through the first couple. And then it sets the stage, obviously, for what we all know, that walk-off in the bottom of the ninth of Game 3. Take us back, though, to your brain and your mindset as you're walking up to the dish for that at-bat.
Yeah, I just did the normal ritual, go down, take some swings with the heavy bat, and then I go sit down. I go down by the fans, and I always talk to my old teachers and just chop it up with them. And then I went and said, God, this is your at-bat. Drew across, went, and I was just thinking outside fastball because they were attacking me the whole day there. And then he threw one low for a ball, and then he threw one out. I thought it was a little out, but it was called a strike. And I normally would have been like, dang, that stinks. But I just said, we got this. And then I got a pitch I could drive, and then the rest is history.
Was it a pitch you were actually looking for, or what were you hoping to get to at least drive the ball somewhere?
Yeah, I was just sitting outside fastball, and I got up on the plate a little bit, and I was just, if he threw it anywhere where I could reach it, I was just trying to get on for the guys, and thankfully he threw it right where I was looking, and I didn't miss it, which that's what you can't do in those situations, especially if you're trying to win another championship.
Did you know you got a hold of it?
No, I thought I was like a double or something. I was like, it's nighttime. I don't know if I got that juice. And then as soon as I tripped over first base, and I looked at Joe, and I was like, oh, my bad, Joe. I got to be on second. And he just started screaming, saying it's over. And I was like, whoa, no way. And then, yeah, I kind of blacked out there.
How much emotion's running through you as you're running the base paths? Because you're trying to touch them all. You're trying to soak it all in. I mean, I assume it's something you've dreamt of since you were in the academy.
Yeah, I just hit it, put my head down, caught some grass, fell on my face, cut my elbow pretty bad. Looked at Joe, touched first base again to make sure I didn't screw it up a little more and lose it for the boys. Threw my hands in the air because that couldn't have happened without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He just helped me there a lot and through this year, and it's been an unbelievable journey. And then touched third, did the classic jump up of Petey, and then got to the home plate, and Brennan Luther was there, and we just hugged it out and jumped water, and then we were champions, three-time champions, three-peat.
What did that all mean to you, winning another championship, especially as someone who's been a part of the program for as long as you've been?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm just being that little kid that was watching us, like the older teams play. It's a dream come true, and just trying to become the first team in history to win 4 in a row.
There looks to be some change in the air around your dugout in 2025. Brendan Luther, Caleb Lombard, Graham Brunner, they're all graduating. I know it's still early. A lot of puzzle pieces still need to come together here, but do you have any expectations or thoughts on what you'll have to do to get what you'll have to do to win that 4th in a row?
Yeah, I mean, those guys this is the first year we never played with all those guys, and they were leaders on our team, great players, and most of the reason we won those championships. Luther, MVP, playoff MVP. Caleb Lombard is one of the best catchers I've ever played with and just controls the game and such a good hitter. And then Bruner, probably the best pitcher in Whitwell history. And we're just going to have to deal with it. People are going to have to step up. We've got a bunch of good guys, and I think that we can do it. We just got to stay with the right approach and trust the coaches. I think we'll be good.
Looking ahead to 2025 here, Connor, what kinds of things are you working on to make sure that you're better than ever at Montevallo and then, of course, back here in Okotoks?
The biggest thing at Montevallo this year is just driving the ball a little bit more and just being a little more consistent. I had a little tough stretch there, and if I don't have that tough stretch, I think my season's a little better. So hopefully I can just start off hot, keep going, and then just try and win a championship here.
Final question for you, Connor, before we let you go. I know I've asked you about what the game of baseball means to you, and so I want to ask it in a kind of a different way. Given all that's happened over the last year and the things that you've accomplished and the hills that you've climbed, what's it mean to you to have been able to do this all as a Dogs Academy guy, as an Alberta guy, as a Canadian guy?
it's really cool. I feel like most of my life it's been like an uphill battle, like fighting to become the baseball player that I want to be. And obviously, sometimes you're going to be a little short, but you got to keep pushing. At the end of the day, I think you're going to make it. And if you just keep working hard and doing your thing and having fun, and just remember it's a kid's game and have fun, and you're going to be good.
It's been a fun ride to watch you so far. I know talking to Tyler Hollick after the championship, and he said it's so cool to see everything come full circle. A young guy like Connor going through every level of Dogs Academy and finishing the year as he did is pretty incredible to watch. And so it was great to watch you this season. Looking forward to next season and beyond. Congrats on all the success to this point. Continued success in 2025 and beyond there, Connor. And really, again, appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me.
Next up is first baseman Tom Poole, who continues to make a name for himself with Dallas Baptist University. He hit .352 with 13 homers, 37 RBI, and 9 stolen bases in 49 games during the spring, including 2 walk-off home runs in 1 week in May to earn Conference USA Hitter of the Week. The Calgary Bucks alum was last on the show back in mid-2022, so it was nice to catch up again with him this past week. And a bit of a caveat on this one, as my little daughter tried to make her cameo during this interview. Tom, thanks so much again for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Let's roll the tapes back a little bit here and talk about your spring at DBU. When you look at the stats, they kind of speak for themselves. .352, 13 homers, 37 RBI. You had a 9 stolen bases in there as well. But when you look back on that spring, how do you feel it went?
I feel like it was a tale of two seasons, kind of. Like, you can look at the stats, and obviously they're pretty solid. But, I mean, that's really just a good second half, in my opinion. There's definitely room to grow, so looking forward to improving on it this year.
What was it about the season? Can you go back in time and go, here's the turning point where things kind of clicked for me?
Yeah. At the start of the year, I started our first series pretty well. Got a little bit unlucky with wind conditions, knocking some balls down, but I thought I hit the ball really well, and then I went down with an injury shortly after that. And just the weeks following returning from injury just weren't the same. The eyes weren't working as well. Body wasn't in sync. So just working in the cages and getting back, changing some things, tuning the approach. It all kind of clicked in our series against Louisiana Tech, I'd say.
And obviously you had quite the run there too, especially from a power perspective. I think everybody knew you brought that to the table, but what was it about the power side of things that seemed to be working for you?
I'd say just looking for a pitch in the area that I like. Not going too far out of the zone necessarily, but just looking for a pitch that I like and just allowing my training and skills to do the rest.
Mm-hmm. Coming from Cloud, where you were setting records and that kind of thing, did you have expectations of yourself coming into DBU? Like, did you expect a bit of a drop off at all, or were you like, no, I want to continue that kind of power performance that I was having in JUCO?
I wouldn't say there was too much expectations. Like, obviously I wanted to do well and I had goals for myself, and yeah, I just wanted to help the team win, really. I wasn't as worried about personal stats, especially that first year. I just wanted to help the team win and get as far as we could.
Did you have any expectations or goals set out for yourself through that process of transferring from Cloud to DBU?
Not a whole lot, actually. I was holding out on transferring. I actually committed like a week before classes started, so I was a little bit late to the game, but yeah, super glad I did that. I was just looking for a spot that truly wanted me, and just the coaches at DBU just stayed with me through the whole summer and really showed that they cared about me as a person and really wanted me on the team. So I think that was just the main goal, is getting somewhere where they want me.
Was there a learning curve involved in going from one level of ball to another, or was it a pretty straightforward just move up the ladder where you knew the talent was going to be a little bit better?
Mostly it's just speed. Everything is faster once you move up. Like high school to junior college gets faster. Junior college to 4-year college, no matter if it's Division I, Division II, NAI, it's going to be faster than junior college. So just adjusting and being able to slow the game down a little bit and being on time for 90 plus miles an hour is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. You end up getting some postseason accolades, whether it be through the division or also you're named the postseason Canadian Baseball Network All-Canadian third team. What did it mean to you to get recognized for your performance in both capacities?
I'll be honest with you. I don't really care too much about accolades. I actually deleted almost all my social media. I haven't been on Twitter in a while, and I'll go on Instagram just to keep up with everyone from back home. But as far as accolades go, it's really in one ear out the other at this point. Just focus on doing what I can on the field and then trying to win as many games as possible.
So let's focus on what you want to get done here. You've gone through fall ball season. Walk us through what you're seeing in your own game that makes you think you can take your game to another level come next spring.
Yeah, I just think that sticking to what I was doing and working on it daily is really what's going to help me get better next year. Just working on swing decisions, making sure I swing at the right pitches, and I'm seeing them all the way through is really what's going to help me progress through this next year.
What kinds of things do you expect out of yourself heading into 2025?
For me personally, I expect to just hit well, nothing too crazy, just produce, execute approaches in certain situations, hit the same. But I mean, I've said it before, just help the team win whatever way I can. That's the main goal, win.
Speaking of winning, looking at the roster that you have made up, and I know DBU has been in the rankings as being a possible powerhouse heading into 2025. Put on your scouts hat for a second, and what do you see out of that squad?
We're a great team. I mean, our offense returned every position player except for 2 of our starters. So our offense is going to be pretty fantastic. And we brought in some transfers that are pretty unbelievable as well. And then on the pitching staff side, we're just super deep. I mean, every guy is elite, throws strikes, good stuff. So I think the combination of the two can be really special if we just stick together as a group and just know what we have to do and do it every day.
I was going to ask about that side of things. What's got to come together to make it all click? Because there's a lot of buzz around this team heading into 2025. Can you put your finger on what it is that needs to happen for it to all come together?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily one specific thing, but there's just having us stay as a group, like not letting outside things get into the room or letting distractions derail us, and having a good player leadership group has been our big focus this year, is being player led rather than coach led. So having our leaders hold the room together and just lead the guys when struggles come will definitely help us down the stretch.
On a personal level, are you paying much attention at all to the possibility of getting drafted? Are you having conversations with scouts? What kinds of things are you working on to maybe take your game to the next level after next season?
Yeah, it's something on my mind, but as we get closer to the season, you can't think about it too much, because then it'll just put a whole lot of unneeded pressure on you. So again, just thinking about the team and what can you do to help the team win, because in reality, if you do what you can to help the team win, then someone's going to notice and you're going to have a good year and good things will happen. So just trusting the process and helping the squad is just kind of all that you've got to focus on now.
Mm-hmm. On the process side, what are you working on? Is it a strength thing? Is it a speed thing? Is it a hands through the zone thing? Or are there any particular things that you're really looking to key in on as you head towards the spring season here?
This fall has been mostly focused on defense for me, as I didn't really play a whole lot of defense last year, and I think that didn't help me a whole lot. So just working on solidifying my spot on defense has been my main focus. As for hitting, it's just a lot of high speed, high spin work, just doing breaking balls below the zone and just pretty much trying to get me to swing over something, trying to make me make a decision on the pitch every single time I step in the box.
On the defensive side of things, are you looking to key in at first? Are you playing in the outfield? What's sort of the expectation of you heading in?
I've been looking at pretty much all over the place. I do a lot of infield work just to stay ready to play first base, but our first baseman last year, Crowson, he's back too, and he was a Gold Glove finalist. So, I mean, if I have to play there, then a lot of things have gone wrong. But yeah, just staying ready in that aspect. Working the outfield, trying to mostly in right or left is where I'm looking right now. Get some reps behind the plate, just kind of being whatever the team needs.
Couple more for you here before we let you go. It's been a while since we last caught up. Looking back on the last few years, do you have a favorite memory or moment on the college ball field where you've just been like, man, I can't believe we've been able to accomplish this?
Yeah. My first year at DBU, we were on a road series at the University of Texas, San Antonio, and it was the second last series of conference play. And we were first in conference and they were second in conference. And we were playing at their field. And they had a reputation of being a little bit more gritty and in your face. So heading into the weekend, we knew it was going to be tough. And we rolled into their park and swept the series on the road to secure the conference regular season. And it was just a great weekend. We got rained out the second day, had to finish the game on Sunday and then play another full one, come back, win, extra innings, the whole nine. It was just a great weekend. Just won it. It was great.
That is fantastic. Looking back on it, obviously an Alberta kid, you get to come back. You got to play with the Riverhawks for a summer there. When you get to come back and talk to those young kids at home and they're looking to get to where you're at now, what would be your go-to words of advice or piece of wisdom you'd like to pass along to them?
My path was pretty, I wouldn't say generic, but I'd say it should be more common among Canadian kids. I mean, especially if you're in my shoes, you graduate pretty young. I mean, take that year. It's a free year and you won't be set out very far. I mean, I took a year and I'm not the oldest in my class here. Take that year, go to junior college, just develop. We don't get as many reps in Canada with all the snow. So getting as many reps as you can before college and getting all that time to get noticed is really, really huge. Just give yourself time. There's no rush.
Fantastic stuff. And the final one, I'm curious how your answer has changed over the last 2.5 years since we last caught up, Tom. What's the game of baseball mean to you?
I mean, it's pretty huge. It's not, I remember my answer last time. I said it was everything. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not everything anymore. We do a pretty good job here of not putting baseball on a pedestal, not making it your idol, your everyday thing. So baseball is huge in my life. It's something I do every day and something I'll be forever grateful for, but it's not everything to me. I'll say that it's huge. It's a thing in my life that I get to do. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just a thing you get to do.
Well, it's been a great thing to be able to catch up with you as well, Tom. Really appreciate the time. Congrats on all the success you had in 2024, 2023, and ever since we last chatted, and continued success in 2025 and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And after the launch of Saskatchewan Dugout Stories earlier this year, we're proud to present our first annual SDS All-College team. The inaugural roster features Casey Prychak at catcher, first baseman Corey Wouters, second baseman Tyler Van Este, Nathan Houston is at third base, the shortstop is Clayson Gabrick, in the outfield, Payton McHarg, Carter Beck, and Jackson Martin. The DH is Dylan Edmonds. The pitchers are Takeo Cookson, Kyle Fralick, and Ethan Merck. And the taxi squad is made up of Brody Alexander, Nolan Sparks, and Reese Helland. We've had a few of them on the show over the course of the last year, but one we haven't yet is outfielder Payton McHarg, who did his best to rewrite the record books at Washburn University. He hit .354 with 21 home runs and 67 RBI in 53 games, and he now sits in the single-season top 5 record books for round trippers and runs batted in at the school. Back for his senior season, we caught up with him between classes and injury rehab in Kansas earlier this week. Payton, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What a 2024 it was for you. The stats kind of speak for themselves when you look back on it. .354, 21 dingers, 67 RBI. How do you feel about the year you had, though?
I mean, I feel great about it. Felt like I could be myself here and kind of just do my thing and just play baseball rather than like focusing on like small little details, and kind of being guided in the right way, if that makes sense, and just being able to like play the game as it is just kind of let me do what I did. I don't know, or just had a better approach every day going in and more of a positive outlook.
Did the success take you by surprise at all, given that it didn't feel like there was much of a learning curve for you going from JUCO to Washburn?
Yeah, I mean, no, like, it didn't surprise me, but, like, at the same time it did in a way, because, like, I put in all, like, the work through JUCO and, like, in the falls and everything, and it's not like I expected to have the year I did. I think I prepared well and kind of set myself up in a good space. And then also being around like my teammates and stuff, it was a great environment to be in, and we pushed ourselves every day, whether that's like in the cage, just like pushing yourself to the point where like every swing is difficult, every rep in the weight room is difficult. Like you're always pushing to get like just that 1% better every single day, and I think that really just helped me in a way to like set myself up for what the spring had.
When you look back on it, especially the home run thing, I mean, you're rewriting the record books at Washburn, or at least getting into the top 5 in a couple of the big categories there. Was there a specific aspect of your approach or a key to your success that allowed you to do what you did at the plate?
I think it was more just being able to like understand the type of hitter I was, and that like my success is going to come from hitting the ball in the air, which like many teach to hit line drives and stuff, and like going off of which hitter you are. Like some people don't do too well when you're trying to do that, or like some people will do better when they're trying to do that. So Washburn here, the coaches just like, they helped me figure out what type of hitter I was and like how I could succeed the most, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Very cool. The laundry list of awards after the season was quite lengthy, including Canadian Baseball Network's All-Canadian First Team, which was just announced a little while ago. When you look back on all the awards and all the recognitions, is there one that sticks out to you or one that you're most proud of?
I mean, I'm proud of all of them. I mean, I've felt like I've worked hard day in and day out, and even like going through rehab and stuff, just like focusing on the small and little tasks, I think has really helped. And honestly, every award is just, it's not like, oh, that's another one. Like, I feel like my work's paid off, and I mean, I'm not done yet. Like, I'm still gonna keep working and stuff, and it's awesome to keep getting them. And I don't know, I'm grateful for everything that I've got, and every award, no matter how small, how large, no matter like what it is, it's been amazing to me.
It's been very cool to watch. So looking ahead, you mentioned the rehab. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to the off season, even before you decided to, or before you had to get the surgery, did you have anything in mind that you wanted to work on during the off season so that you can either replicate those numbers or replicate that success in a way that was meaningful for you?
So going off of that, so don't want to like replicate it, because then you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and like getting back like into baseball and everything, like after the summer and taking that time off, it was like I was kind of thinking about all that and like what I did and having to like keep that up. But at that point it kind of just puts a lot of pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you got to think about like trying to like make everyone else happy because of what you've done. But each season's different, and what I did in the spring last year, it can be totally different, so you can't just like go off of how you did last year or whatever. Every year's a new year, so I got to prepare the same and show up and like challenge myself day in and day out, and just be prepared to honestly be prepared to fail and succeed at times, and just being able to like deal with the stress that baseball has, because it's a game of failure. You're not gonna go up to the plate and like hit a double every time. There's gonna be the downtime, and like you're gonna struggle and have those tough times. And honestly, it's focusing on how to stay consistent and like show up every day ready to just hit the baseball and kind of let everything else do the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking ahead though to 2025, do you have any expectations of yourself, or maybe have you laid out a few goals in mind that you'd love to cross off the bucket list?
Going in, I just want to be a leader for the team and like support guys, whether they're having a good or bad time, just being there for the guys and being able to be a leader for everyone. And I don't have any numerical goals, just because once you set that, you start chasing a number rather than chasing like success and having a strong year. But going into this year, I just honestly, my goal is to compete with every game, and no matter the team, treat them like it's the number one team in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into your baseball past here a little bit, Peyton. You're the product of Saskatoon. How did you get into the game in the first place?
So growing up, I mean, there's basically 2 years back home. It's either hockey season or baseball season. Throughout my whole childhood, it was like put on the skates once September rolls around, and then take them off after spring hockey, and then hop right into baseball. And that's kind of how it was my whole life, and had some ups and downs in both sports. I actually started to focus mainly on baseball in my grade 10 year, and that's really like when I realized like I could probably try and do something with it, just because hockey kind of got to the point for me where I wasn't really having much fun anymore. It was just kind of like, I don't know, I kind of fell out of love with the game a bit around that age, and figured that baseball, like I could do something with baseball. And after talking to like a few friends and stuff, there was the Going Yard Baseball Academy, which I decided to join in, I want to say, my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I kind of realized that I could do something with baseball, and that like I really enjoyed the sport, and I still had the love for the game. And even though like it wasn't my number one sport growing up, I always really enjoyed baseball, and I enjoyed playing it. And yeah, after focusing on baseball, I started to have these jumps that I'd never seen growing up. Like I gained a lot of muscle, started hitting the ball harder, started throwing harder, hitting faster, and all this throughout high school when I was hitting puberty and stuff, and just kind of figured out that maybe I could do something with baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Very cool. Whose poster was up on your childhood wall?
Oh, I had a lot. When I was younger, I think I had a Roberto Luongo poster. I was a fan of the Canucks back when he played there in like 2010. I don't think of what else. I had all the NHL teams up there. I had a couple more, but it was just hockey. It wasn't baseball or anything.
We talked earlier about the surgery, and take us back to maybe all of this past year, because it's been kind of a roller coaster ride for you, hasn't it, on the health front?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, it was mainly just the shoulder thing, but so I came into the start of the year healthy, everything was good, and for the most part, I was like pretty healthy all year. I was watching my diet and all this, weights, and yeah. So, I think it was like the middle of April, might have been the start of April, when I felt like something in the back of my shoulder just like was pretty tight. That's all it really felt like. And I was just playing through, like trying to loosen it up, stretch it out a little bit more, do like some bands or like rolling it out a little bit with a lacrosse ball. And that seemed to help, and it wasn't super painful when it first started. It was just like a little kind of almost pinch in the back of my shoulder. And so played out the rest of the year. And near the end, it like started to bother me pretty bad. It was like every time I throw and come across my body, it'd feel like it was like pulling almost, and then pinching when like I would lay my arm back when I was throwing. It didn't hurt to swing at all, but yeah. And then after I finished my year here at Washburn in the spring, figured I'd take like a little week and a half break between that and Berries, and didn't want to. I was really excited to play for the Berries and was really looking forward to it. So I didn't want something to be like, yeah, you actually probably shouldn't play summer ball. Dumb of me looking back, but I was really excited and pumped to play at home. And got there, started off the year, and the shoulder was a little iffy. At the start, it was good, and there'd be days where it was pretty sore, but I just kept playing just because I wanted to, and I wanted to play at home. And it got to the point, I only played like 13 or 14 games for the Berries, but it got to the point where it was like, day one, I'd play and played in the outfield. Day two, it hurt to throw pretty bad, and I would just DH, or I'd go into the outfield and like it'd be painful. And then day three, it was like complete day off. Like can hardly pick up my shoulder. Like hurts to swing, hurts to throw. Take like a complete day off, and it hurt me to sleep too. I was a stomach sleeper or on my side, and it hurt all the time throughout my day and everything. And I just kept trying to play, and then I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, you can't be playing anymore. Like, you need to get this figured out right now. You can't be hurt when you go back to Washburn. And so got it checked out, and I just did like a normal MRI in the middle of summer. I don't know what day it was. And found out that I had tendonitis in my rotator cuff in like 3 of the 4 muscles there, and possible labral tear. But so I was just trying to treat the tendonitis, just trying to overcome that, and didn't end up playing at the end of the year, and was frustrated about like not being able to finish the Berry season off. And came down here and got it checked out pretty quick, and they said it was I got a dye injected MRI, and for that, if the dye like leaks out of your shoulder, it like shows a labral tear. Like, that's how you figure it out. There's no pain receptors there. But so found out I tore my labrum, and you can either do PT and go that way, or you can get surgery. And I tried to do the PT way, and just it didn't work out. It was still sore and hurt to do stuff, so decided to get surgery on October 1st, and just got it cleaned up. It was frayed pretty bad in my labrum, and then I had a little bit more stuff that they cleaned out, but that's more of the doctor's words. I don't want to talk about that too much. Some of the words are pretty hard to say, but yeah, I got it all cleaned out basically, and just been rehabbing since then.
How's it feeling as of today, being, December 4th, December 5th?
It's feeling great. Throwing without pain, it's a little tight, like when I start throwing, but loosens up, and just, it's been great. I mean, hitting off a machine now, no pain throwing, doing a bunch of exercises. I'm back doing weights now with not full out, like, maxing out and stuff, but, like, I'm getting pretty good weight on it, and it feels awesome. Like, it felt like last year. Like, it doesn't feel like anything's wrong. So, it's great.
Great to hear. You mentioned the berries, and I know you and I kind of chatted over message for a 7th inning stretch way back when on our website. What did it mean to you to be able to suit up for the berries, although it was shorter than you wanted it to be, but also to be able to get to do it in front of some family and friends, I'm sure?
It was awesome. I had a great time. Besides, like, being hurt the whole time, I was happy to play in front of my grandparents at home again and play in front of my siblings where they don't have to travel and come to, like, 3 or 4 games with my parents. But it was awesome. I got to play in front of some friends. They came to our games and stuff, and honestly, it was awesome. Saw lots of family at my games who I haven't seen much of just because I'm gone so much during the year, and I think it's awesome playing against, like, a bunch of guys you don't know and some guys that you do know and stuff. It's sweet. And then being around, like, all the new guys and guys from different parts. Like, we had lots of guys from, like, southern states and west and east coast and everywhere in between. It was just a great experience. I love being around it, and it was a great time besides me having a torn labrum the whole time.
Kind of a bad one, but at the same time, I'm curious. There was talk early on about an all-Saskatchewan outfield because you guys had Nolan Sparks, you had Carter Beck for a while, Oakland Flodell was out there. How cool was it to share that with a few Saskatchewan friends and guys that you've probably played a few times with over the course of your young career?
I had a great time. I mean, that's how it started. It was just us 4 outfielders, and that's how it was. Like, when we would take, like, reps on our day off and stuff and go to the outfield and take fly balls, like, it was mainly just us 4 strict outfielders. I mean, there was a couple guys like Mac Turner who came out and, like, would take fly balls and everything, and yeah, but it was awesome. I played with Nolan on the Cubs. I didn't play on a team, but I played against, and I did the academy with Oakland Flodell, and I actually never played against or played with Carter Beck, and that was awesome. They're all great guys. I love being around all of them. It was a really fun time.
Very cool.
Really good environment.
Not just family and friends in the stands, but obviously a lot of young, impressionable fans who might be starting out on their baseball journeys. Got a couple more questions for you, and the first one relates to that. When they're getting their autograph from you or they're looking for advice on how to get to where you're at now, what are you telling them? What would you like to impart upon them?
Mainly just tell them to work hard. Don't really listen to anyone, like what anyone says. I've been criticized for being small my whole life. I was the short, skinny kid growing up, all throughout getting told, like, that I didn't make this team, I didn't make that team because you're too small, you're too small, you're too small. Just over and over again, and, like, I kind of just put my head down. Like, I would take it personal and, like, kind of get fired up over it, and honestly took it just as fire and just kept pushing and pushing. And even though, like, I've been smaller my whole life, I'm still pretty, not the biggest guy. I'm 5'10", like, not tall whatsoever, but I just think, like, if you work hard enough and just keep pushing, and even though you get knocked down, like, just to pick your head up and keep pushing. not let anyone's words affect what your goals are.
Mm-hmm. You've done a great job of that. Final question for you. It's one we ask everybody here on the show. What does the game of baseball mean to you, Payton?
I mean, honestly, just sports in general is basically my whole life. It revolves around sports and being outside, doing whatever. Baseball means so much to me. It's given me so much opportunity, and it's made me who I am today through the ups and downs, struggles, success. Like, it's shaped me into who I am today, and I'm just so grateful for what I've got and what the game has given to me, because I wouldn't have had these opportunities without baseball or even sports in general. Because, I mean, growing up, I thought I was going to be a hockey player, and I wanted to play in the WHL. All this, and yeah, just sports means everything to me, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
We wouldn't trade the opportunity to get to know you a little bit more as well, Payton. Congratulations on the outstanding season, everything that you've accomplished to this point, continued success and continued improvement in your rehab. Looking forward to what you do in Washburn next year and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks again to Connor Crowson, Tom Poole, and Payton McHarg for joining us this week, and congratulations again to all of the players who were named to the ADS and SDS All-College teams. Head to our websites now for more on each of the inductees. We have one more episode planned for you next week, as Ian and I will recap the WCBL AGM and the year that was before signing off for 2024. Make sure to hit subscribe on your app so you don't miss any of that or any of the action heading into 2025. A tip of the cap, as always, to our platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Light Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League, for their incredible support, helping us cover costs like web hosting fees and online newspaper subscriptions. If you'd like to join our roster of sponsors, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.